Basically, I'm gonna just be telling the story times because I have a lot of story times. I'm not story times, but I have a lot of stories, fucked up stories, funny stories, any kind of stories you can think of. I will be telling them because I got them. So this one in particular, I asked my Instagram followers and my Snapchat followers or friends? Snapchat friends. I asked my Instagram followers and my Snapchat friends which video they would like to see out of my ex cheated on me with a catfish and my ex catfished me, because my ex is just crazy as hell and I have a lot of story times about him and another ex and then blah blah blah, a lot of other things in my life. So everybody said when my ex cheated on me with a catfish, so that's the story I'm gonna tell. Hopefully I can get all the details in there so you guys can get a gist of what was going on in my life at that point in time, because this happened back in 2014, 2015, and here we are in 2018 and I decided to tell the story. But like I said, hopefully I can get all the details in there, and I'm just gonna jump right into the story. So basically in high school I had this boyfriend and we knew each other for a long time before we started dating. I want to say we knew each other for 2 years because we met each other in our freshman year of high school and we didn't start dating until our junior year. So I knew a lot about him. I'm gonna give him the name Larry because that's the name that I feel like giving him. So I had this boyfriend, his name was Larry, and we started dating our junior year of high school. And then I also had a best friend when I was in high school. She is not my best friend anymore, but I'm gonna give her a name too because she's very crucial to this story. I'm gonna name her Sabrina. So in high school I had a best friend named Sabrina and I started dating a guy that was in my class and his name was Larry. Now in high school I didn't have a cell phone, so what I used was my iPod. I had like an iPod Touch, and I just would have to download like texting apps, and I would have to use Kik in order to talk to my friends. And then everybody knows that like I don't even know what I'm about to say. Anyway, in high school, like I said, I didn't have a phone. All I had was an iPod Touch, and that's what I would use to text people. And everybody who knew me knew that I didn't have a phone. So what I mainly would use is Kik because that was more convenient than texting apps. Texting apps are kind of annoying. So I had Kik, and if you don't know what Kik is, basically it's a messaging app where you have to create a profile, you have to have an @name, and then you have a picture, and that's basically all people see. And then from there they can message you. You can see if somebody reads your text message, and you can see if your text message has been sent, like it has like a little S, and if the message has been read, it's a little R. And that's what I use. And all my friends had Kik, and my boyfriend had Kik, and that's how I communicated with people until I got into my senior year of high school, and that's when I eventually got a cell phone. I got like an iPhone 4S. No, not S, because I don't think S was a thing yet. It was an iPhone 4, and this was 2014, so I thought it was big stuff when I had this iPhone 4. I don't know what iPhone was the newest at that time, but when I got my iPhone 4, I was hype as fuck, because using an iPod for years and having to wait until I get around with some Wi-Fi just to text somebody, it was annoying as fuck. So I was really happy when I got my iPhone 4. And when I got my iPhone 4, immediately I downloaded Kik because I was so used to using it for all those years that I was just accustomed to using Kik. So I still had that on my phone. With that being said, like I said, I had a boyfriend. His name was Larry, and me and Larry were like really close. We were really close. But like I said, I was close with my boyfriend. I was close with my best friend. Me and my boyfriend did everything together. We had majority of our classes together, and we also after school we had marching band practice, and after marching band practice we would go to play rehearsal. And that is what our days consisted of, Monday through Friday. And on the weekend, we would have to go to whatever event that they wanted the marching band to perform in, whether it was a marching band or it was like a parade. We were there. And then also we performed our little play. We traveled, we performed our little play, whatever. That's what we did. But I'm just trying to let you guys know that me and my boyfriend were with each other 24/7. So Sabrina, we were also in a lot of classes together, and Sabrina was dating one of Larry's friends. And Larry's friend was a grade above us. So he was a senior while we were a junior. And she started dating him. And obviously, he graduated, he went off to college, they stayed together. And when it was time for us to become seniors and decide what school we wanted to go to, like what college, my boyfriend Larry decided he wanted to go to the same college as Sabrina's boyfriend. So throughout our senior year, I really helped him a lot with, you know, his grades, because he needed a certain GPA. I don't want to like talk down on him or talk shit, but my boyfriend had the lowest GPA in our entire grade. And we didn't have that many people in our school. Like, I know like a lot of people go to these big high schools where they have hundreds of people in their graduating class and maybe even thousands, but when I tell you that my high school was small AF, like there were literally 29 people in our graduating class. Like, that's it. Like, of course, throughout the 4 years, it fluctuated between, like, I want to say the most we ever had in our class was 35 people. I'm saying, like, the entire grade, like, 35 people, because the building that our school was in was really small when we first started off school. And eventually, our school moved, like, for the people that ever watched this video that are from my area, I went to creative arts. And, you know, creative arts started off as a small building, and then they built a new building, and that's where we moved to. And then the school was able to have more students, but because we came from, well, my class started off in the smaller school, we only had 30 people, and it fluctuated between 35 to 30 people, and at the end of our 4 years, we had 29 people in our class altogether. So our class was really small. So for me to say that he was like at the bottom of the rank as far as numbers go, like, it wasn't like he was all the way at the bottom out of 100 people. Out of 30 people, he was at the bottom. I mean, that's bad, but, you know, at the same time, it's like, it's not that bad, if you understand what I'm saying. So I really had to help him. I didn't have to, but because he was my boyfriend and I really wanted to see him succeed, I really helped him with his grades. He got his grades up there. He was able to boost his GPA, and I really helped him apply for scholarships, because he was being really lazy about the whole college situation. And I kind of regret how much I put into him instead of putting it into my own self and my own future, because I feel like if I wasn't so concerned about helping him, that I probably would be more progressed in my career than I am now. But, you know, I'm getting it together. Anyway, with that being said, I did all this helping him, and he was able to go off to college. And when it was time for me, I wasn't able to go to college because I didn't put as much work into myself as I did him. So he was able to go off to the college of his dreams. He received all the money he needed, and he was set. Meanwhile, I was stuck at home. And it was like I was so used to being with him 24/7 at school, and then that summer we spent a lot of time together. When he left, I kind of didn't know what to do with myself. You know, at this time, I want to say I was like 18. I never had a job, so I started applying for jobs, and it was hard at first finding a job, because everybody knows when you're looking for a job, they want somebody with experience, and you can't have experience unless you have had a job before. So it's like kind of contradicting, but I really, really, really worked hard to get a job. Like, I know my best friend at the time, Sabrina, she was looking for a job as well, but she couldn't really find a job either, because, you know, we never had that experience. Well, I don't want to talk for her because I don't fucking know, and I really don't give a fuck because I don't fuck with that bitch no more. But bottom line is, I really had to work hard to find a job, and eventually I did find a job. I started working around November 2014, And that's what I did while my boyfriend was in college. Now, Sabrina, on the other hand, she wasn't working, and she decided that me and her should take a trip and go down to South Carolina, where they were going to school at, to visit them. And you know, it sounded all great, but I was trying to tell her, like, I would love to go down and see my boyfriend. Like, at the time, I would have loved to go down and visit my boyfriend because I hadn't seen him for months and I wasn't used to being away from him for so long. But at the same time, I had just started my new job. Excuse me. I just started my new job, and you know, I was really trying to do something for myself at home instead of just focusing on my boyfriend. So she decided to go down to South Carolina without me. And she stayed down there for a little while. And my boyfriend at the time, Larry, was kind of mad because, you know, she up and left and went and was following her boyfriend around and was like, I'm not her. Like, I have my own goals that I want to achieve, and I can't do that if I'm always chasing after you. Like, it would have made no sense for me to just put in all this work to find a new job. I get the job, and then I want to take days off because I want to spend a week in South Carolina sitting up in a dorm, because there's nothing for me on a college campus that I'm not attending. For that long period of a time, I'm just sitting in. What am I going to do down there just to be with my boyfriend and to be around Sabrina a little bit, and then you're going to class and you're going to band practice and you're doing all these things while I'm just sitting here following you around like a lost puppy? That's not me. I never been that type of girl, so I didn't go, and he was upset. Moving forward, so let's get into the whole catfishing situation. My boyfriend was known for talking to other females. I don't know if he ever physically cheated on me, but I know he had texted a lot of females from his school, from his college, from our high school, from back at home. Like, a lot of girls talked to my boyfriend while he was with me. Those females know who they are. I'm not going to put nobody out there. I know who you are. You know who you are. And let's that be that. So we used to get into a lot of arguments over him texting other females. So this night, I believe we were arguing like we usually did. I was calling him. He was not answering the phone. Now, I'm the type of female, if you're not answering the phone, I'm going to keep calling you. And I'm going to keep calling you until you answer the phone, because you can't use your phone if I'm calling you. So you only have one of two choices. One, answer the phone. Two, turn your phone off. So I guess he decided, I don't know if he blocked me or he turned off his phone. But eventually my phone calls started going to voicemail. And that's when I really started getting irritated. So I decided to call Sabrina because I knew she was still down there. And I was like, hey, Sabrina, are you around, I almost said his name. Are you around Larry? And she's like, no, they left, or whatever the case may be. They weren't in the dorm, and she was in the dorm. So I was like, well, can you call your boyfriend and ask him to call Larry, because I'm trying to get in contact with him. And she's like, yeah, sure, okay. So eventually Larry answers the phone. I speak to Larry. He comes up with this lie that his phone was off. That's why he wasn't answering the phone. And and I'm like, that's BS. I know your phone was off. You're trying to avoid whatever argument we were having at the time. And it wasn't happening. So we moved past that. Boom, hang up the phone. Later on in the night, I get a message on Kik.